Hello, my lovely. Welcome back to my channel. I am Peachy Vegan Goddess, and in this video I am going to share about how I overcame my cheese addiction. So, if you haven't seen my journey to becoming vegan video, I recommend watching that and then coming back to this. Yeah, I stopped eating dairy because I was getting really bad cystic acne. I had come off the oral contraceptive pill, my hormones were all over the place, and dairy was definitely the culprit. It was really making things worse for me, and I was having like extreme PMS. I was having such bad pains, like endometriosis type symptoms. My hormones were just all over the place, and I was getting these boils, these huge cysts on my face, and it was devastating and awful, and I didn't want to leave the house, and I felt so self-conscious, and they were sore and painful and swollen, and it was awful. Okay, and so I stopped eating and drinking dairy, and it was the best thing that I could have ever done. My skin cleared up literally within about 3 weeks. My skin cleared up, my hormones started to rebalance, and I felt so good. I felt so much better without the dairy. But I have to say that I found it very hard to not eat cheese. So I'm going back in my mind like 7 years right now. So it's a little bit like shady in my brain, not shady, what's the word? Like fuzzy in my brain. But I remember I really struggled to not eat cheese, and I craved cheese, and I missed cheese the most. Like I didn't really miss milk. I was actually never really that into milk when I was a child. I never had like milk time at school because I didn't like it, and I didn't really like milk that much. But I always ate a lot of cheese. And so yeah, it interested me, like, why was this so difficult? And so I researched it, and what I found really shocked me, but it makes sense. So basically, in milk, in cow's milk, there is this, like, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna say compound. There's this thing called casomorphin. I think I'm saying it right, casomorphin. And basically what it does is it's kind of like an opioid or an opiate. So when the calf drinks the milk, it gives the calf pleasant feelings so that the calf will stay close to the mother cow, right? And so when you make cheese, you are concentrating a lot of casomorphin in this block of congealed pussy milk, right? There's there's a high amount of casomorphin in that. So when you're eating it, just like what happens with the baby cows or the calves, it is reacting kind of like a bit like heroin or morphine, I guess morphine. It's like a kind of opiate. Is it opioid? Opiate. Why can't I think? Reaction, like chemical reaction in your body that keeps you kind of addicted and wanting more. How crazy is that? So this explained to me what that was. It was actually a sort of physical addiction to cheese. And I know, because I used to be addicted to drugs, I knew then instantly how I can shift that, because when I was coming off of drugs and coming away from the drug scene and party scene, what I would do is I would replace that behavior, replace that thing with something really healthy, really good for me, and really yummy, or really fun, basically. And so I used that kind of mindset to shift the whole cheese thing. Once I knew that this was like literally a physical biochemical reaction going on in my body, it actually helped me to like not want the cheese as much, because I don't want to be addicted to freaking cow's milk, cow's pussy milk congealed into a clump. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, yeah, I'm going to get over this one. And so I basically, anytime I was like craving the cheese, or I don't know, if someone else was eating cheese around me, like I would replace it with other things that I found yummy. So like it could have just anything. I can't actually remember all the things, but I would, you know, take snacks with me, or I'd replace it with something sweet and tasty, or I would, because I didn't really like the vegan cheese at the time. There weren't many vegan cheeses and they weren't that great back then. And so that was a little bit challenging. But nowadays, there's lots of different vegan cheeses, and some of them are really, really nice. And some of them you wouldn't even be able to tell. Like a lot of the cream cheeses, the vegan cream cheeses, you would never be able to tell. Like I have given them to people and told them it's cream cheese and they didn't know the difference. And so, yeah, there's a lot more variety these days, and so you can replace your cheese with vegan cheese, but obviously the vegan cheese doesn't give you the same casomorphin, so it is just a case of detoxing from that. Once it's out your system after like a good few months of not eating it, like for me personally, I started feeling quite disgusted at the thought of cheese or anything dairy, like milk, cheese, yogurts. The thought of it made me feel physically sick. Like the thought of harming a cow, first of all, like the whole dairy industry would play in my mind, because I'd watched the documentaries, I'd watched the videos, I watched the footage, and so it would play in my mind, and so it would be like creating that negative association, which really helped as well. So whenever I saw cheese or was around cheese, I would instantly see the images of what was happening to the cows and how that was actually produced and where that's actually come from, and it would turn me off. And also, just once I was over that addiction, it was almost like, what was I doing? I look back and I'm just like, what the heck was I doing? It's kind of like when smokers stop smoking and then they become like anti-smoke, anti-cigarette activists. And they're just disgusted at their past behavior. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of like that. And just the thought of it, like, ew, just yeah, knowing what is in that, knowing the process that creates it, and knowing that it's like actually causing like a physical kind of addiction, it just made me want nothing to do with it, basically. So that is the truth about my cheese addiction and how I overcame it. Now I don't even think about cheese. I don't miss it. The smell of it, ugh, I just don't like it at all. It just doesn't even come into my mind or reality. And I really like quite a lot of the vegan cheeses anyway. And it's like I really just don't need that in my life. And so, yeah, I hope this was interesting to you. Maybe this was new information. Maybe you didn't know that cheese had casomorphin in, and that's what it does to you. Maybe you're vegetarian and feel like there's no way you could be vegan because of the cheese thing. Well, you definitely can, because I did it. You can do it too. It's well worth it. If you do your research about the dairy industry, it will put you off for life. And just keep, in the beginning, just keep watching those things and keep educating yourself, because it will really motivate you to not go near that stuff and to not put your dollar into that industry and pay for those poor animals to be sexually abused and exploited and murdered. Okay, so it is a violent industry. It is deeply disturbing, and it is so worth overcoming your cheese addiction. So if you're vegetarian, get on the vegan train. You can do it. Like, I'm rooting for you. And if you're somebody, like, so many people are lactose intolerant because we're not really meant to be drinking the milk from another species. Like, all animals at a certain age wean off the milk because we can receive all the calcium and nutrients in the right quantities from our solid food. So it's just bizarre to me that adults are drinking milk from another species. It is strange. And it's like, I try and take myself back to before I was vegan, and I can't now, because it's like I was literally just completely unaware. Like I just didn't make the connection. I wasn't conscious. It feels like I was just unconscious, like walking around unconscious to this truth. And now it's like I can't unsee what I've seen, and I can't unknow what I know. And I do not know how people who care about animals can go back to eating, to consuming dairy, and who go back to eating animals. I just can't understand it. Like, it breaks my heart. And this is why I really want to kind of put this out there, that if you're somebody who's vegan, like I'm going to speak about this in quite a lot of my videos, because if you're somebody who's struggling being vegan, but you really know in your heart that it's the right thing, then please reach out to vegan nutritionists and people who can help you and work on your mindset, and look into the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, because he can really help with your mindset and your body and your health and everything. Like, you really can thrive and you can succeed at being vegan. And after some time, like after years, your body will get used to it, and you'll find ways that really do work for you. So don't give up, and don't let all the fear mongering and the BS about, not being able to receive all the right nutrients, etc. Don't let that infiltrate your mind, because you can thrive being vegan, and it is possible for you. So just stick with it, please. And I love you lots, and I will see you in my next video. Oh, and let me know in the comments what you thought. All right, bye.